Hey, hey, my friends. Welcome, welcome. Happy Work Wednesday. I'm Emily Smiley if you are new to this page and just catching it. And I have with me my amazing friend and just all-around badass momapreneur, Tala Wood-Stephens with me today. Thank you so much for being on today, Tala. I really, really appreciate it. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yes, I'm excited too. I'm excited that we're on the same time zone because I've been doing these in different time zones. And even though we're on the same time zone, I still feel like a little bit of a mess, right? Which we're going to talk about today. So it kind of
early,
goes with it, right? You know, if you're just hopping on, I would love to see the comments. You do need to go to streamyard.com/Facebook. Make sure that you click accept just so that we can see. And it does. Otherwise, it just says like Facebook user. And we really want to hear your comments if you're coming in. If you're catching it on the replay, please put #replay. Our hope today, I have a feeling it's going to make them laugh, but we hope to bring some value in there as well. And if anything, you will come away feeling a little bit better about trying to juggle it all. So I'm excited. So Tala and I were just talking about like where we met. Like I was trying to remember if we had met at a company event or if we had met at another event in building our businesses online. And yeah, basically, like I was trying to remember that they just kind of like do this. But Tala, if you'll share a little bit today, I really want to hear like your story specifically. I don't know if I've ever actually heard it start to finish. And just because I know you're an entrepreneur, I know you're still, in the brick and mortar, which I love. I know you're a mom. I just tell us a little bit about like your story.
Okay. So let's see. I'll go back to, so I, like Emily, am a personal trainer, and I have been since like 2002. And I very much love it. I love helping people. I love like encouraging them and seeing them love life again. And so it was a little over 11 years ago, I was introduced to a product. And so I had a personal training studio. I still have it. And I was introduced to this product and I liked the product. And then I just started working with it because it made sense to offer it to my personal training clients. It's a health product. And so, but I didn't really think of it as a stream of income.
Sure.
It was more just like, oh, sure, here's a little bit of extra money. And 6 years ago, it was almost exactly 6 years ago. On the 18th, it'll be 6 years. I was dropped with the I want a divorce bomb from my now ex-husband. And I had 2 young girls at the time. And that was like, what? And, yeah. So my entire world kind of flipped upside down. And I was really at this place trying to figure out, I now only had my girls half time. And how was I going to spend as much time with them and not be having to go in and train my personal training clients? And that was kind of when I realized that I needed to shift how I was doing my business. And it made sense that my network marketing company was that way for me to do it, because I could work at 10 o'clock at night when the kids were asleep, and I could be with them as much as possible. I didn't have to go in at 6 a.m. to do training clients. So that was really the aha moment of what I had in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I still kind of did it super old school, like the, hey,
yeah.
Hey girl, I saw your post, I have something that'll fix that. And, it worked a little bit, but definitely not to get me to where I needed to go. And, now, so I'm since remarried and my husband has 2 boys. So we right now have 4 kids that are 9, 10, 12, and 13.
Woo.
Oh yeah, it's fun. And on quarantine, it's awesome. It actually is great. They love each other and it's been wonderful. But now we have different goals. We have more kids. We have 4 we're going to have to put through college or help, And so our financial goals have really shifted of, we want to buy a house. It needs to be a bigger house. It can't just be a 3-1. It has to be a, ideally a 5-3.
Woo, good luck with that in California.
So that was, that has, again, shifted how I am going to need to grow my business. I've definitely tapped out my warm market. Everybody knows who I am that are my friends. They know what I do. And so it was a little over a year ago that a girlfriend reached out to me, who's also in my network marketing company, where we're actually sidelines. And she said, hey, I got this. I have found this system. I think you'd like it. We're very similar. And I trust her completely. I've seen how she grows her business and her social media presence, and I like it a lot. And I jumped in. And that was like 8 months ago that I started to do it. And about 6 months ago, my husband and I really jumped in and, now have the mentors and like the full year program with them. So
I love that. I love that. And that's where you and I connected because, my story is obviously a little similar. So, when you make that shift, it's funny because, we both kind of started the same, right? Like I was like, this totally makes sense to give to my clients. Like, of course I'm going to share this. And it was a side income. It was like, and then that side income started doing pretty darn well. And I was like, oh, all right. And then circumstances change, right? Like for you, gosh, I can't even imagine like that kind of that's like an atomic bomb. But for me, I just wanted to be home. I wanted to stop like training clients at like 5 and 6 a.m. in the morning. And, I'm married to a fireman, and that wasn't going to work for me. I can't leave my kids by themselves.
No.
So I love that. And I love that you and I connected. So it's so interesting because, it's entrepreneur. It's such a journey because, where you think you start, like if you'd have told me 5 years ago that I would be like, full, or, would you think that like fully in, like you and your husband, like fully jumped in, building solely online, like, I would have said like, no, you're crazy. I'm like not techie. Like, there's no way I can do this. Like, I don't want to be in front of a, computer screen. So I think so many people can relate to like, not really getting started or like not even realizing, like for me, I just like the products. That's really why I started. And then I got into it and I was like, oh crap, this business is like no joke, right?
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah. And there are definitely still days where I'm like, I don't want to do the live. And I like, it is a struggle. It's not like all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, oh, this is easy. I don't think
there's been any day where I've said it was easy.
No,
I don't. But I think that's so important because I really do feel like sometimes there's a misconception in, build online, and I want to address those a little bit because I don't know, it seems to come up, right? Like people think, okay, it's easy because I think a lot of people portray, right? Like the American dream or keeping up with it. And it's all about the money. For me, and I know for you, like my passion is health and fitness and mamas. Like that's my niche, right? And so I don't give a crap about your yacht. I don't give a crap about it. I have no, and this is just me, I don't even know what kind of car you drive, but I have no, like, I don't care if I drive a sports car. I actually would prefer a truck.
Well, I have a 12-passenger Ford Transit, so
there we go. But people's ideas of success are different, and I don't, and I didn't want it to be this unattainable thing. That just to be a mom, it's not hobby money for me, right? It never was. Well, actually, it was in the beginning, but for years now, it hasn't been, and that why has kind of changed for me as my business has evolved. And then also I think there's this misconception that it's, it's easy. Oh, you just throw this out online and then that's it without building that skill set or whatever. But I do know that you've made a really big jump. So you and I met at this event. It was an event, solely building online. And just talk a little bit, like, I know you literally sought out mentorship, which for me, just building traditionally in the company was a huge hole for me. Like I didn't get really any mentorship. And so it's funny, as my journey has proceeded, I'm like, wow, That's freaking important, especially not teching you build online. So can you just kind of share like what would you tell the person getting started if they're like, holy crap, like I hear you, but you know, I don't know where to get started. What would you tell them in the business mentor? Hey, I see you guys hopping on. Thanks for saying hey, thanks for the love. I appreciate it. Make sure you grant StreamYard. Hey Gilmar, how are you? Just share a little bit about your mentorship journey, because I know you guys like dove head first and I love it.
We did, yeah. And I just wanted to go back real quick and touch on, you said something, and so one of the in like you're saying that you wanted to be home with your kids, that was a shift this last year. I actually got my network marketing. I had focused so much on that I actually am not taking on any new personal training clients. So that was a huge shift of like me saying, nope, this is my schedule. Take it or leave it. I don't need you. I would love to help you, but I don't need you. And so that was a huge shift also of like figuring out what you're willing to do and not willing to do. And like your own self, like, I think when people start a business, they will do anything to get the client. Oh, sure, I'll come in and I'll work at 6, or sure, I'll meet you at 2, even though I'm supposed to be picking up my kid. Yes, I'll do a phone call with you. And like I have found, I was always afraid to put that boundary and say, nope, this is where I will go. But when I did, it actually increased things. And so, which is weird, you know.
I've found that same thing to happen. I don't know what it is. It's like as soon as you take it away, they're like, wait.
Exactly. So anyway, so that was a great thing. Okay, so the mentor thing. So I think I would tell you, if find someone that you look up to and that is doing what you want to do. So for me, like my friend, seeing her stuff and how she wasn't blasting her product everywhere, how she was presenting herself in a really honorable, respectful way. When I was like, what is she doing? What is she doing? But I never asked. So when she reached out and said, hey, I have this, I was right on it, So I would say not to wait for someone to reach out to you. But if you see your friend Nancy who's killing it, be like, hey, Nancy, what are you doing? Maybe she could be your mentor. Maybe she's found a system that's working for her. Maybe it's not a program that you and I have found, where they, like the one that Emily and I do has this 12-month program. And my husband and I meet with someone every single month. We have a roadmap that we're going through. We have check-ins to see where we're going, and we set our goals and that we're supposed to be working on. But even if someone doesn't have that, like what books are they reading? What are they filling their head with? Those are huge things that I think someone once said that, network marketing is just personal growth disguised as a business, because you really have to work on yourself and like your personal like self-confidence, which is a daily struggle of like that's that I can do this. But yeah, so I would figure out what they're doing, and ask them, and ask multiple people, and then what's going to resonate with you, because they might be doing something and you're like, no, I'm not. That just doesn't feel good for me. But yeah.
And then don't you feel like I feel like when you seek out like a mentor, particularly like a business, coach per se, right? Like there's an accountability factor. And I know both you and I always go back to fitness, and I'm like, look, you probably could do your own workout. Most people freaking know what to do. They know to eat healthy. They know to go to the gym. They know to move around. Like if they know nothing else, they know that, right? Yeah. And it's like, why do they hire a trainer? Well, they do it to be more effective, to actually make progress, to follow the system that the trainer has been freaking doing for years, right? And they can get you your results faster and safer and less like wasting time and focus. So, I would just say, to tack on to exactly what you said, is, don't wait on someone. I did that. I kind of waited and waited and waited and waited. And then I was like stagnant. I was doing all the things and reading all the books and, whatever. But I just needed like an actual like map, like a step 1, step 2. I was like, okay, I'm done with the mindset. Just tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like when you have that, when you finally get that mentor, it brings a clarity to your business that you're going to get, just like getting the trainer, you're going to get those results so much faster because you're investing in yourself. You've got skin in the game, right?
Yeah.
Like when I first started, I remember explaining like, oh, just, you know, like it's such a low, but then what happens is you're drawing those kind of people. And like you said, like going back to what you said about the clients, like as soon as you take that away or you make it higher or you get some skin in the game, man, people start showing up, right? So do you feel like it's helped you with your, not just your accountability, but your focus? Because I know you and I were going to talk about niching a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely has. And I think, you know, going back to your analogy of the personal training, that I think the biggest thing is when you're doing something and it's not working, or it's not working the way you want it to work, having someone who's done it or a system, and they can say, oh, let me look at it. They can see what you've done. And then they can say, oh, you might want to try tweaking that or rearranging the wording, because you only know what you know. And, you know, having someone who knows more, even if it's this much more, you know, you can still learn from them, and they've done it, and maybe they've experienced the same thing. And so just like getting that kind of just pivoting, you know, instead of, no, I'm going to stay on this track. I'm going to stay on this track. It's eventually going to work. Like just saying like, hey, no, just make a slight left. And then, oh, wow, it's way easier, you know,
and being open.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Instead of being stuck in that, I know what I'm doing. This is how I was taught.
Yeah. And I think you and I both thought that, right? Like we were open to learning, because it's like, look around you. If you're not moving forward, I just did live on this. Like, it's like, if you're not moving forward, if you're not growing in your business, if you're paid, and I hate to say that, but it is a business. If your paycheck is not growing, then what can you do? And it doesn't mean you need to throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say, right? Like,
No.
you need someone to look at it and go, well, okay, that's a little dramatic. How about we just do this? That's what surprised me. It was like, I was doing a lot right. It was just a few little things.
Well, and I think you said a great thing that just reminded me that, you know, if you have a job and you're working for someone else, you show up at that job from 9 to 5, you're working for someone else. And I think the hardest part of being an entrepreneur and owning your own business is you have to show up for you, for your job. You know, you sitting around and thinking, oh, I just spent 20 minutes sending those messages. This is going to work. Yes, I'm going to make 6 figures, is really unrealistic. You know, no one that I know makes 6 figures working just an hour a week, you know. Sure. And it's like getting into that mindset of, this is your job. You own this company, and you need to actually show up for your job, and you need to work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. And then taking it to that next level, right? Because, you know, I love helping the newbie get started. And what's the number one thing that we hear as moms? Like, I don't have time. I don't have time. So I love teaching them like how to do a power hour. Just like I love teaching. I was like, oh, you don't have time to work out? Let me show you how much I can fit in freaking half an hour. I would like challenge them, right? Like, I'd be like,
And it's also oh, you don't have time. How's that Desperate Housewives episode? How's that Game of Thrones you just like binged on? You know, like you do have time. And I'm guilty of it also. Like, oh, I just want to do this. I don't want to focus, you know, but at the end of the day, if I don't do it, no one's going to be like, oh, you tried. Here, I'm still going to pay you. Like, you know?
Yes, I do know. It's that I saw this analogy, and it was like, coffee is like a, let's get them in the beginning of the day. And it's like a glass of wine is like, we'll get them tomorrow. Like, good try today. Right? Like, that's so true, because no one is over you hounding. But I think that's why it is important for we, you know, as women, to really support each other in our businesses and kind of, hold each other accountable. Because my husband is super supportive, and he tries, bless his heart, to be like, oh, you know, give me my time when I'm working. But unless I set that boundary and I like, you know, level up and say, no, I'm going to get this done, or, you know, I'm going to, you know, time block. I've done a live on that. And I think that was one of the biggest tips that I could share is, you know, you can't aim. What's the saying? You can't hit at, if you're aiming at nothing, whatever that one is.
You have to know what
you're bullseye, right? Like, you need to know what you're going to do. Like, what the hell are you going to accomplish today? You need to know that. You can't just go, oh, well, I'll try to like, message a few people or post something, or, that's crap. That's not going to, that's not.
Yeah. You might not hit all the goals, but you need to at least have an idea of what you're going to try to hit that day.
Yes. So what is it that how do you tackle that? Because that's probably the biggest question and the biggest struggle, even from moms that I know that are like totally like committed and working. And that's why I titled this today. I was like, I probably talk to mompreneurs every freaking day that are like, holy, I'm going to lose my mind. My kids are at home. I'm trying to homeschool. Like, I'm just keeping it real. And I'm like, literally, I have done lives where my son is doing like a math, like worksheet, like on the floor next to me. And it's so funny because I remember going to an event and I was brand new. And I just saw her and she was like, this is what I thought like my business was going to be. Right. And she had this like Pinterest worthy, like, and she was all professional. Right. And she's like, and this is actually a picture of my office. And she literally had like the Battleship game, like sitting next to her computer. And she was playing Battleship with a kid on the floor while she was like, and her office was a disaster, which I will save you, but mine is. And that means I'm working. My kids are like, Mom, your office is a mess. I'm like, that means I'm working. Yeah. Right? Like, it doesn't always have to be this like picture perfect, thing, but showing up every day just as you are. Yeah. Like that says something. So what would you give a tip as far as like somebody that's going, oh my God, like how I hear what you're saying. I want to be committed. What would be a good tip for that?
Well, first, I think that you hit it right on the head of just showing up as you are and just being authentically you. If you're trying to go after people and you're a mom and a busy mom, if I'm showing up as anything other than that, I'm not going to attract those people to me. Like if you're trying to attract the mom that's trying, realistically, busy people are who you want on your team. They know how to manage things. They know how to get things done. But where was I going with this? Oh, so if you're showing up as like, hi, I'm Tala, and I have 5 tips for you today. You know, that's not as realistic as like messy bun, like, oh my God, okay. So my kid's in the other room and I've got 3 minutes and I'm going to give you 2 tips. And, because that's who you're going to relate to and connect with. So for me, I'm a very visual person. I like checking things off. So I'm going to show you guys. I printed it out. I'm also going to give Emily the hard copy of it so that you guys, if you want a copy of this, just drop. What do you want them to drop below?
Drop. I want one. Raise your hand. The raise your hand emoji. I love that.
Yeah. So this is so for me, trying to come up with like a daily method of operation, DMO, has always been a challenge for me. And it wasn't until one of my mentors really broke this down that I was like, oh my goodness, this is so much easier. So
I've been all my life.
I know. So I don't know if you can see. Is that backwards? Okay.
No, it's not.
Okay. So I have like my daily method of things that need to be done, my weekly things, my monthly things, and then I'll flip it over and show you. This one's actually not as complete as the one that I'm going to share with you. But anyway, so each day, and they shouldn't take you very long, so I have comment and engage on posts on my personal page. So just going in and commenting a couple things on my personal page. Same thing for my fan page. And then my going live. So figuring out what that schedule looks like, how many days a week you're going to, and actually putting it in if I'm going to try to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday. Doing your Facebook stories on my fan page, Facebook stories on my personal page, posting on my fan page, posting on my personal page. So it's just literally something that I can sit down and go instead of, oh, what else do I need to do today?
Yes.
It's just all in one place. So yours will be whatever your daily things need to be. And on here is workout. So really, it's like your non-negotiables of your money-making activities and things that you're going to be doing, following up with your customers, things like that need to be done on the daily that you can keep track of. And so you can see, oh, I didn't do this yesterday. I need to do that today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing with that.
Yes.
I want one. Can I raise my hand emoji?
Yes, I'll send it to you.
I like a good checklist. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. And then I also like, and I know you and I were talking about this before, I highly recommend you get a binder. And Emily and I both actually have 3-ring white, 3-ring binders.
No, girl, I'm up leveled. Look at that one. And I was telling Tala, I actually have that one because this one is full.
That's awesome.
Like, oh man, like it's done. I'm on my second one. And someone asked me for something yesterday and I needed to get into that. And I was like, oh, I know where that is. Let me get that to you.
And so I have sections in mine. I don't know what your sections are, but so like I have one whole folder in here that is just for live ideas and content. So if I'm doing something and I think a thought, I just write it in there because I know that's always a challenge of trying to come up with content for your page.
Just shared that yesterday. Love it.
Yeah. And then I have another one for like questions. Like I like to ask questions just to get engagement. It doesn't even have to be related to business, just what's your favorite song?
I got 78 comments on coffee. How do you like your coffee?
Yeah. And it's
people have an opinion. Let them give it.
And at the end of the day, you're a human and you want to just have conversations. Like you don't want your page to always be business.
Yes. Well, I would say most of the business that I do is not publicly on Facebook. It's either video chat or messenger.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're connecting with people. I mean, that is the idea. And I think that there's a lot of moms who really think that they are maybe doing those things, but not intentionally. And I would just encourage you, if you're watching this, really be intentional. Reach out. I'll be glad to give you Tala's copy of that. I volunteer to give that to you. Because seriously, I think people think that just if they show up or just if it's like last minute, right? Like, oh, I got to throw something up. And I've been guilty of that. So I'm like preaching to the choir here because, I was like, oh, I got to get something up on, like I have to be present, right? And now it's so much more intentional and there's so much pressure taken off because I don't feel pressured, right? Because you've taken the time to create that value, content post on your personal, on your business, whatever. And then in the stories, I just did, a live the other day on stories, and that was a really popular one. People are loving those. But that's a good thing. That's a smart thing to use right now. How can you tell a story and just being very intentional about it, right? What would you say right now that you are really focusing on? Like what's working for you as far as like one tip on specifically social media in being intentional? Like what are you being really intentional in doing right now?
Well, I think that one of the, am I echoey on your side?
Say again.
It sounded echoey on my side for a second.
I didn't hear it.
It's better now. So I think that I used to kind of, shoot of like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And I think and I know you and I have talked about this, that having like 5 to 8 things that I want to share on my page and rotating through those so that it is a consistent thing that and so like you and I are very similar. And so mine are, health and fitness, recipes. I love to garden. So I have garden, my family, marketing tips, and then my product. So like kind of rotating through all those things. And so getting more intentional with why am I posting this? What kind of reaction am I wanting? Not just going boom. And like you're saying, trying to just get something up there, but more of if I'm wanting to give, what experience am I wanting to give people when they come onto my page? And so if the live doesn't fit that, then, it's not really what I want to be putting on there.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to be doing on, I don't know. I can't even think outside of our box.
I'm not going to get on and start talking about my Ford Transit,
There you go. There you go.
It's not,
It doesn't fit. It doesn't mean that, that maybe you have an opinion about something or not, but yeah, just keeping it to those basic branding things. And then, I would say those change sometimes too. Like, you know, maybe you find something new, or, you know, you find a new type of workout, or, you know, whatever it is. It's not that you're limited to that, but yeah, I love that about, you know, just rotating through those in your life, because people really want to see your life. And I think now more than ever, people are craving people, and people want to see real. They want to see, you know, they don't want to see the perfect, you know. That's why I love doing these interviews and connecting with, like, you know, like, I want to keep it real. I want to see, like, okay, look, this is not perfect. This is not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy, right? But you can do it. And, you know, I don't think it's perfect, but I do think it's better. And I think there's a lot of mamas out there who, you know, just really want to do something different. And they're telling themselves, like, you know, I can't, or maybe, you know, they have started, but they're very old school. And right now that is not working. There are no coffee dates. My thing was, I wanted to work from my phone, not on my phone. Yeah. So that was my shift from old school to new school. I just didn't want to be on the phone for hours and hours. I would rather be with my kids. And I thought I was so cool, like being on the phone at my kids' events and stuff. And then I realized I was missing it all, right? Because I was on the phone. So I love that. I loved being intentional, because I feel like it's not like just throwing something at the wall and expecting something to stick, right? Like, it's just very, you know, checklist, like you have. So what would you, last thing, because I want to make sure respect time. You know, I know if they want to reach out, is there any page that you have that they could come follow you out? I know you give like good tips.
Yeah. So my Tala Wood-Stephens is my fan page on Facebook.
Perfect.
Yeah. Perfect. Can I give one last tip?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you if you have anything.
Yeah. So my a shift that I had to make was, I had previously didn't really understand the whole point of having a fan page. And I had my personal page, and then I had my product page. And that, it always felt weird to me to be trying to just, here's my personal life with my kids and my family, and then here's my product. And when I made the connection that I am my product, my family is my product, my life is my product, like, that I am not just my network marketing company, and getting clear that my fan page is me. I am my fan page. And so, and then connecting all of that together. So not being afraid to show my personal life on that, you know, that people don't want to just hear about, you know, fruits and veggies, fruits and veggies, fruits and veggies, fruits and veggies. They want to hear about me taking the kids and going gardening. They want to hear about our bike ride. They want to hear about, you know, some about my product. So like, they want to hear all about me, because I am who they're going to look like, know, trust, you know, value, and all that. So trying that, making that connection of not trying to separate out my life into these categories really was better for me, feeling more authentic and who I was, and being able to share all of that.
Oh, that's a really, really good point, because I have had people, especially when I was starting in the beginning and I was building team, I had team try to go off and do that. And you know, and part of that is that they just really didn't want to spam their friends and their family, right? Like, they were like, that felt icky to them too. And so, yeah, part of the evolving, I know for both of us, has just been an understanding that, you know, you are your brand. When people say like brand you're already branded. It's just what you're choosing to share. Instead of sharing all your products, like you were saying, like, share all aspects of your life. Because if you do follow Tala, then you know that she's into health and fitness and garden. And and if they're looking for that, they're going to be looking for you, right? And so, and if they're not, like, so what?
That's
right? I love that about the business page too, you know, because you know, you can get a little bit more focused. You know, for me, I just love like teaching. So if I'm going to learn something over here, you better believe I'm going to turn around and spit it out over here.
Yeah.
Teacher, always a teacher, right?
Yeah. For sure.
Oh my gosh, Tala, thank you so much for agreeing to come on here. Let me interview you in the morning and keeping it real. I love that about you. We are.
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, I think you and I are like sisters from a different.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, you guys. Hopefully you got value from that. If you did, please let us know. Drop to hashtag value below. If you are interested in the checklist for your DMO to kind of keep you on track as far as posting and building online, let us know. Be sure to check out Tala's page. Now, can you just share what is it? Fitness or it's everything, right?
It's just Tala Wood-Stephens. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I used to have a different name of like health and fitness something, and then when I made the shift, I branded.
No, it's still me. You're like, it's still me.
It's
so
me.
it's me.
So it's gonna have my name.
I did the same thing. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.